everybody, I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today I have a very special guest for you guys here in the SSN Nation. Get your debt reduced to half potentially, improve your credit score down the line. A fresh start is possible if you make the right moves, ladies and gentlemen. We have our own special guest coming, Tracy.sharpe, but you guys know how this works. It's SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream, and welcome. Stop struggling now, gear, check, and please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, very, very special treat tonight because this is rare moments. You guys know, as you're supposed to share the videos, you never know who's going to be watching or who needs this information. But the most important part is we already know you guys are smart. You know the numbers. We've talked about this for years. 60% of the people watching this do not have $500 in their bank account. 70% do not even have $1,000 in their bank account. This is all Americans. Can you believe it? But what's even worse, over $1 trillion worth of consumer debt. And a lot of it is credit cards and other types of unsecured debt. Well, what if you can get your debt reduced to nearly 40, 50, 60%? What if that could happen? Stay tuned, but let's see who's in the house tonight. We have Karen Ann. She's here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. She is here. Hello, Eric. What is new in the better areas? I know you're talking about pre-construction real estate in the Dominican Republic. Well, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is there's hardly any new mega projects coming out. So therefore, the only thing that's available is somewhat like regular old condo units. And yes, they may have a restaurant there. They may have a children's playground. It's not going to be a mega project. It's almost going to be like a villa. And then they're going to have a pool in the complex, a fitness center in the complex. And that's pretty much all. So therefore, I would recommend getting something in downtown or something in Los Corrales, El Cordecito. That would be the safest positions. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more money, then you go out to buy eBay. But again, a new record for 2024 in the month of February, all-time record high of 660,000 people by air that came to the Dominican Republic this past month. In the month of February, all-time record, 661,000. This is on top of the 700,000 that came in January. For the first 2 months, it's also an all-time record. And you guys already know, 8.5 to 9 million is what I said was going to happen this year. And by all accounts, it's going down. We've been studying this for a while now. No credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry with pre-construction at 0% that you're making payments towards your down payment. And speaking of that, this is what our guest is going to be talking about tonight. Laverne Penix is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he has that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says, hello, SSN Nation. I hope everyone is doing well. I received a notification and saw the trailer. Thank you so much. And don't forget to smash that like button when you come in here. And get your pen, pad, and paper ready, because what Tracy's about to tell you tonight, you're going to need to pay attention. Victor Marrero is here, a soon-to-be retiree, along with Laverne Penix, Karen Ann, and himself, real estate investors. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Not only real estate investors, business owners as well. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Victor Marrero also with that icon next to his name. And once again, he brings his tagline, hello all, let's do this. That's exactly what we have to do. And this right here, before we get to Tracy, is our own Auntie Val, also known in this YouTube street as Professor Auntie Val. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to her name. And she says her tagline, good evening, fam. She brings the heart, she brings the strength, and she always brings that beachfrontjava.com. That's right, you heard me, beachfrontjava.com, her and her family. And that's right, we got to support our own, ladies and gentlemen. And she says, got the notification and trailer. That's 3 people this evening. Sorry, I have been so absent working on Beachfront Java 2.0. That's right, and we're still helping Beachfront Java 2.0. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, everybody on podcasts and around the world, you know you can go to beachfrontjava.com for coffee and or tea. But remember to put in the promo code SSN Lifestyle, all caps. Why do you want to do that? Because after your first order, you will be getting discounts on your next orders. That's why you put in that promo code SSN Lifestyle. Drip ground, fine ground for all you who like that espresso, Keurig, and whole beans from Indonesia, Africa, South America, Central America, premium blends. That's right. And of course, I mentioned tea. So go show some love at beachfrontjava.com for our own Professor Auntie Val. And she says, got a YouTube video today showing the latest construction progress of Galaxy. This is Rock Galaxy, ladies and gentlemen. So we got to get that video, Victor Burrell. You got to send it to me, please. Let's see. Eric, did you receive the video of the Wave project? What do you think? Laverne Penix, yes, I did. I think moving about 20, 30 seconds. I mean, what is that? This looks like it's not going to be done for another year and a half at least. I don't even know why they're even sending out these crazy videos like this. But I don't think it's for a year and a half. Yes, thank you very much to Mrs. Cool. I appreciate that for sending it over. So I got it. At Professor Auntie Val from Victor Morel, glad to hear back from you. Welcome back. Understand taking care of business. That's what we have to do around here. Business is more important, but not more important than family, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of family, Tracy Sharpe is here, ladies and gentlemen. We got to welcome her to the stage. Tracy, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being here tonight. We're here to help people.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. What a pleasure. Thank you, Eric. I'm so glad to be here. So glad to be here. Shed some light on maybe a little different arena that people are not familiar with.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely, because people need to hear what you have to say and offer for here tonight, because we are talking about something that a lot of people, they figure in their life, as far as I can tell, they think there's no way out when they accumulate so much debt. They're thinking about filing bankruptcy first, because that's in everybody's psyche. But you have an alternative for people.
I do.
So let's hear about this little alternative. Just give a little background so maybe people understand where you're coming from with what you're trying to help them with.
Yeah, so I come from a very solid background of selling loans, working in the auto industry, in finance, working at a bank, working in real estate. And I finally, now you guys are on the opposite side, which is saving people money. And I'm coming from a direction of there is alternative. We're pretty used to being set in our ways. And then when I was told about this job called debt resolution, I was completely confused on how this was even legal or how it was even going to be beneficial or help. And then 5 years into this program, I'm just so in love with it. So I worked for one of the largest settlement companies in the nation with the highest rating. and we started a small business underneath that business. We've all heard of AmeriCorps, but I'm now with Resolve Finance, which is AmeriCorps, and I've learned a way to help people. It's not for everyone, but it's a solution that I want you guys to have the tools in your belt. And that way, at least you know that this program exists. And what this program does is if you have a mix of creditors, we all have mix of creditors, and a lot of us got really heavy in the loan and the credit card and line of credit areas, starving and trying to get through COVID. And then when it was all done, a lot of us weren't working, a lot of us were on unemployment, and now we're thinking our credit card's up to 100,000, 60,000. The average American now is carrying between 65 and 75. What is the solution? Our solution is you don't have to file bankruptcies. You don't have to deal with your creditors. You don't have to, you can do those options if you choose. But what I recommend doing is debt resolution. It's where your cards are taken over by AmeriCorps. Resolve Finance is owned by AmeriCorps. And what happens is we give you a discount on your debt. So let's say you're carrying a debt load for math of 100,000 and your payments are roughly $3,000 a month. Average interest rates are 22 to 25, 9, 26. I've seen them up to 38 now. We put the debt into a program. We cut that debt down. I hate to give a math number, but it could be anywhere between 30 and 60%, okay? Average is 45 to 55% off that debt. We also have no interest. So for the customer that's carrying 100,000 in debt, for a $3,000 payment for 30 years could potentially get a payment of around $899 to $950, depending on that creditor mix, for about 3.5 to 4 years, no interest. When that debt is over and you're done paying, your debt is resolved and your credit will soar. And when I say soar, there's been a change in the way that the FICO score has changed. Heavy debt creates a really low score. So most people call me and say, I don't want resolution, I want a loan. That drops down your score because it's more debt. Our program wipes out a lot of your debt, offers you a 0% interest while you're paying those payments. And as that debt is being resolved and it's being paid back, your credit score should be where it's at, if not higher. And no better time ever than now, because you really can't use your credit. Rates are so high, you can't afford anything. And if you can't afford it, they're not approving it. So there's a big alternative there. And this program is wonderful. So Eric, is there anything I've left off or any questions, or do you want me to go into the loan piece or?
No. Hold on. We got to talk because you said a mouthful. I have to talk about this. I like the part about the no qualifying, no credit check part, and the 0%. I heard 0%. They know here in the SSN Nation. I love 0%. This is what I love. If I have to pay off debt of any sort and I hear 0%, where do I sign up, please?
Yeah.
This is what I want to point out that's major here. You were mentioning that there could be debt settlement, which gives us debt reduction.
Correct.
And your company actually gives an amount that the person has to pay, and it's a fixed amount.
Correct.
And that's what they pay. And it could be anywhere from 12 months to 36
months?
Well,
it could be 12 to 60, depending on the debt load. It's not really the debt load anymore. It's kind of your mix of creditors. So most people have different mix of creditors. So let's say, I got the hiccups. Let's say you're really, really heavy in the loan department. Let's say you have 80% loans, and let's say you have 20% credit cards. Then you might need to be on a 46 months. So we know what creditors will settle for what dollar amount. And we take that dollar amount, we divide it over the term, and we have agreements and we mix other people. So we have such a huge amount of clients that we might mix 10, 15, 30, 40, 100 people together to offer that settlement. So AmeriCorps, when people call me, I can tell them within 30 seconds, Eric, I don't even do a hard pull, I do a soft pull. And in 30 seconds, that computer says, these creditors are accepted, these creditors are not accepted. This creditor will take 30% off. This creditor might go 60% off. So this is going to result in you saving a huge amount of money. And I tell my clients, you have to look at it like this. They might have not raised the interest rate for these people so high, but what people don't know is that the way they calculate interest could be totally different than what they thought. So that's
Exactly.
all a game. So they're just getting a little bit of
Yep.
interest credit back. And so
Yep.
all I tell people is you've paid your dues, you're better than just your credit. And if you want to get out of debt and you're serious, we'll get you out of debt with an A+ rated company, and we'll save you thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of headaches and interest.
Exactly. And that's what got me. I was like, I can't believe this, because
Yeah.
that 0%,
Yeah.
this is what it just blows me away, because at that percentage, you're already paying on credit cards that are anywhere from 19% to almost 40. So
Yes. Yes.
so you can never pay it down, especially if you are
Correct.
doing the minimum payment. Even if you're doing a little more than the minimum payment, you're still going to be
Mm-hmm.
behind because of the 18, 20, 25, 29% interest that's added on top every
Yes.
day in some cases.
And Eric, do you know how people feel when they tell me they have 100,000 in debt and they're so upset? Like, I mean,
Yep.
credit people lose sleep. And all I'm saying, you guys, is it might not be 100% for you, but it's an alternative that's free to look at. I've been coming from a place
Exactly.
35 years in the finance industry, probably 37 years. I'm trying not to show my age here. But you have to realize I didn't know that this site existed. And people are calling me now with tribal loans at 849%
Oh,
because they can, right? So all I'm saying
exactly.
is that this is a free quote. It doesn't hurt anybody. We don't put anything in there that's not going to get settled. We don't mix creditors in there that don't want to be settled. We make sure that if you have a certain mortgage through Chase and you have a Chase credit card, maybe we ought to relook at that card. I make sure your good credit stays in there to build your credit while I'm closing these other cards. Like our goal here is to get in and get Americans out of the trillion.3
Yeah. Yeah.
dollars in debt. This is they say the fastest way from A to Z to get out of debt is debt resolution.
Exactly. And in this case, it is, because we're not being charged like 5% or 10% if you do this. So that's what blows me away. It's like a win-win as far as I'm concerned, because
Correct.
I get my debt nearly cut down to a manageable area to begin with.
Correct. Yes.
And I'm able to build my credit back. Maybe
Yes.
it's not 6 months, maybe it's not a year, maybe it's 3 years. But in 3 years, you're not going to be able to do anything anyhow, because of the way
Right.
the credit bureaus do a 2-year track of your credit report now.
Yes.
So you can't do anything anyhow. So might as well get
Yes.
this done in the meantime. And then you get everything settled, everything washed. You didn't file bankruptcy. You don't have to worry about 7 years or even longer in some cases, and things of that nature. And you're back up and operational. And potentially it could be sooner than 4 years. It depends on
Correct. You could
everybody.
prepay. Yes. Well, and
Yeah.
Eric, what's so funny? The biggest myth, I want to tell you why I got involved in this too. The biggest myth out there you mentioned was 7 years on bankruptcy. And the attorneys that work with AmeriCorps said there is no such thing as a 7 year. We always drop the word seven, right? 7 years. Well, I
All right.
found out because I do also work for attorneys when we do the legal states that it's
Mm-hmm.
actually 7 years after it discharges in court. And that could take up to 10
That's
years.
true. That's exactly right. Yep. This could be longer. So
Yeah.
that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, because I've had people send me messages saying, "Hey, Eric, my bankruptcy was 7 years ago." And that's the first question. Okay, when was it actually settled though?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
never realized it was 3 years later or 2 years later. So you still got another 2 years.
At
And
least.
that's a long time to be
Yep.
penalized for
Yep. Sure
something
is.
that, and there is help, which it's amazing. I didn't realize it was this simple, that
It
people
is
can
this
just
simple.
simply email you at your number down below, and make sure I have this right, tracy@resolvefinance.com. That's
Yes.
correct, right? Okay,
Yes.
so you guys hit up tracy@resolvefinance.com and send her an email. And again, it's a soft credit pool, so therefore
Yes.
there's no hit on your credit report, no
Right.
hard copy, and also hard inquiry. And so also that's out the way, so you can genuinely help people. It's automated. And ladies and gentlemen, I know this woman. She helps you out. She's not out here trying to make you pay extra for something. She's actually literally trying to help you. All right. This is
Yes.
what we do here in the SSN Nation. I would not bring her on if she wasn't going to try to legitimately help you. So therefore, she'll be back on another show because we're going to be talking about some other things that's an offshoot of this, because we have people out here getting HELOC loans at 8%, 8.5% for some strange reason to buy some more stuff. And I'm not understanding none of that at all. That makes zero sense. And we have a bunch of other things with car loans and a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen. But today we are talking about something that can help, I don't even know, probably half of the population that are thinking there's no way out. Because, you know, Tracy, this is another thing that happens. We have a way as an individual to call up our credit card companies or our debtors. And they sit there and you say, hey, can I get a reduced payment? They'll say, oh, sure, we'll give you a reduced payment for like 4 months. But after the 4 months, we're going to add in the interest. We're going to add in the late fees. We're going to add it right back in.
Yep.
It's crazy.
You nailed it. That's correct.
It's crazy. Yeah. So you're still locked in. And after that 4, 6 months or whatever happens, you're thinking, oh, good, this helped. No, it did not help you at all. So
nope.
This is something that your company, this is when you guys call because of the amount of customers that you have and citizens you have. It's a group effort. So now when you call as Resolve Finance and they say, hey, we have this person, now they listen. They say, okay, sure, we'll take a percentage and drop it down and reduce it because we want the money. Fine. And that's what I love about what you guys do.
Well, Eric, you know, the one last thing I want to add until you have questions is this. We're guaranteeing you a savings, but don't forget, I'm guaranteeing the creditor their money discounted fast. And the creditor takes the discount because you've paid interest. You've paid way more interest. So if you've paid 100,000 of interest, they're taking off $3,000 and they're happy to do that because you are respectfully paying back what you've borrowed, right? So you're doing yourself a favor and the country by paying it. And I'm guaranteeing that money to the creditor. So believe me when I tell you can walk away and say, I don't have to talk to the creditors. I don't have to pay my minimum payments. They're going to handle it. They're a AAA rated company, and the power of the people together create this discount. So it is a win for you. It's a win for the creditor as well. So you can raise your head high that you paid your debt back.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't realize what they're actually doing with credit and debt. It is a lot of interest that's been on top of your principal. The interest is extractable. That's just free money to the people that gave you the paper.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's crazy.
Yep.
And here's one of the things, though. I'm a bit, the guys know I'm a proponent. I talk about derivatives all the time. And this is exactly what these creditors do, is that they get you and you don't realize that piece of paper that you signed or that credit card statement you signed and said, I accept. They actually take that somewhere else. And oftentimes they sell that paper. So they've already gotten paid up front. There's so much that goes on that I love what you're doing, because now you actually get into helping people based on what they're trying to hurt people with. And that's what I love about it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
So that's why I had to have you on. I had to have you on when I heard about it, because I was like, this is unbelievable.
I know you were like, what? Is this real? Is this for real? I mean, it's like they gave us student loan forgiveness and then they took it all away. So this has been around since the 80s. And Eric, the best thing I haven't told you yet is that we didn't create the program. The creditors did.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
So, you know, I'm grateful and I appreciate you doing such good things for the people out here. When I knew you were doing an act of good, I had to be a part of this act of good because you have so much passion about helping people. And so I appreciate you bringing me on here and let me talk about the alternative, and it fits some people's, you know, and if not, it's fine. But I'm always here for questions. I'm always available to jump on, but you're doing a good movement here and I support it. So thank you for having me as a guest.
Thank you so much, Tracy Sharpe. I appreciate you being here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, down below, Tracy at resolvefinance.com. And I'll get into it after she has to go, but I'll spell it out. R as in Robert, E as in Eric, S as in Sam, O-L, V as in Victor, E, finance.com. That's Tracy at resolvefinance.com. Go hit her up. And if you're in debt, and again, don't even play. I know you guys, 60-70% of you are in massive debt. We already know this. Don't play with yourself out here any longer. Get some help, and it's anonymous. Nobody's going to break you out and,
Correct.
put it out in the world that you're needing this help. So go do it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shy, but you don't have to file bankruptcy. You don't have to kill yourself and then wait another 6 to 10 years to get your debt resolved when it could be simply a year to 3 years. I mean, this is crazy to me that you're offering this program. I'm still in disbelief, quite frankly.
I know, and I love you for that. Thank you. Yeah. I'll put myself on mute until you're ready if you need me, okay?
All right, no problem. All right, let's go down the list, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, you might as well ask it now. You know what we do here in the SSN Nation. We don't charge you to put anything in the chat. That's not what we do here. All right. So Joe Nay, another investor's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to your name. And he says, what's good, SSN fam? How is everybody this evening? You know we're doing great this evening. We have Tracy.sharpe in the house giving people pointers, significant pointers, because we know a lot of people have 10, 15, 20, $30,000 in debt. Some people have 100, some people have 500,000. Can you imagine getting, if there's somebody said, hey, I can get 30% off of your debt that you owe right now and get your payments dropped to almost a third of what they are now? Wouldn't you listen? And then what if it's better than this? And that somebody could actually be like, I can take off maybe 40% and give you an installment payment, one payment, 2 to 3, maybe even 4 years, maybe up to 60 months is what she said, but that depends on your credit. But I got to bring Tracy on because there's something that we forgot to talk about.
I'm ready.
And that is one thing. The debt generally has to be unsecured, right?
Correct. Yes. It can't be a car, which is secured. It can't be a mortgage. Right. And you don't want to pay that off in 3 to 5 years. And you can do loans, lines of credit, and you could do any kind of debt. You could do even like if you have collections, we could do all of that. I can't do taxes. I can't do child support. I can't do secured debt. And we have to make sure that we're not going to put you into a situation where we have a conflict. So let's say your car is through Golden One Credit Union. Let's say you have one creditor through Golden One Credit Union. Well, what no one knows is that car just secured your unsecured debt, and you're paying an unsecured rate when you should be paying a secured rate. So we have to keep a very keen eye on that to make sure we don't put you into a liable situation. And then it goes through the back end, and AmeriCorps verifies it's all accurate and you're good to go. So we definitely, and the quote is completely free, confidential, no credit check that's a hard pull. And we'll let you know what's qualified and what we can do. And we send you a proposal for you to make your decision.
Exactly. It's beautiful. And funny, I was bringing that up because here we have it, which again, I don't know if, can you see the questions by any chance on screen?
They're really tiny, but I can get my, I think I can.
I'll just ask it. Yeah, I'll just ask it because he was actually asking about, this is a secured loan, Victor Morrell, so it won't happen. But here's what he's saying. He's saying, I have a friend with a car not running, and to fix it will cost him thousands of dollars. He still has a loan on it, but is having a hard time paying this loan. Can this program assist him with that?
No, that is, so here's what we could do. Exactly. There's always a way around that's legal and safe. So a car is secured, right? A car is secured. So we can't put the car in. But we could do is he could go get a loan, unsecured loan, fix the car, make a couple payments, and then that loan could go into the program.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so then that would reduce what he would owe.
Correct, without putting in the car that's secured. So he would get a loan. Yeah. And we don't really necessarily have to make a payment. We just have an ethical standard that we're not letting people go out and rack up their debt and then, oh, here's your discount. We're saying you make your attempt, you get your loan, you fix that car is secured, so that can't be touched. But then the unsecured loan that repaired it could actually potentially go in. Yes.
I love it. I love it. There's always
Yeah.
a fix. This is what I love about you.
Yeah.
And you know what helps? You're different than most people. That's the thing that I love about you. A chameleon. You just haven't done debt or credit. You were actually in finance, and you know from a selling finance point of view versus being on the backside. You're on the front side, and then you go backside, and then you know
Yes.
credit and debt settlement. So that
Yes.
makes you very, very different than a whole bunch of people, your coworkers, I'm sure. And
Well, yes.
so that's why you can help people a little better. Because that little information you just gave right there, I was like, what is she saying? Maybe. I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Go get an
Yeah.
unsecured loan, pay it off, and then go and you could be in the program. I like that.
Correct. Well, and
That's
that
how
way
it
it's
gets done.
ethical. And we tell
Yeah,
people, look, we don't want to be out there and doing these. A lot of people file bankruptcy and they rush out and they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars beforehand. That's just
exactly.
wrong. But what we do is we're
Exactly.
saying, look, if you really can't get that car to drive A to B and you don't have an option that's secured and your loan people on your car are not helping you, then you get a loan. You fix the car. I can now read the comments, so I got my glasses on. But you
Okay.
now
All right.
fix
No
the
worries.
car. You put that in. But what I'm learning right now is they're not even giving loans to people that have in the high 700s. And
Right.
I don't know what's going on. So what we're telling people is feel good about this. And the nice thing is the day you enroll, you don't talk or pay your creditors ever again. We take it over and we manage it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So any
That's a
questions I'd love to
relief for a
answer.
lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a relief for a lot of people. Joe Nay says, I received a notification, saw the trailer, smashed the like button. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And Joe Nay also says, thank you, Tracy, for your information.
Yeah. So welcome.
Yes, Brian P., welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He's in the house, ladies and gentlemen, with that icon and a real estate investor, soon to be, and a stock market investor. He loves them dividend funds, Tracy. And he says,
Whoa.
I hope all is well with you. Hello, SSN family. Did you get those emails and video? Yes, I did get the emails and the video. He sends me emails about some information regarding financial information and anything. And I'm just like in disbelief. I'm seeing banks stealing customers' monies from their accounts and all kind
Yep.
of stuff. It's incredible. And speaking of that, I will take a second here. When I mentioned the dividend funds, Tracy, there's these dividend funds called yieldmaxetfs.com.
Yeah.
And they're giving, dividends every month, 14%, 15% annually, not monthly,
Yeah.
annually, 20%. But see, this is where it gets crazy. High risk, high rewards. Can you believe 35%,
What?
40%? It's unbelievable.
Wow.
And this man has 5,000 shares of something called
Oh.
TSLY. 5,000 shares. This past month, somebody's going to tell me how much TSLY. In fact, I should know myself. But it was, I think it was, let me see, Victor Morero's here. He might know. But let's just say it might have been 80 cents for the share. That would mean he has $3,000 coming plus. It's crazy. Crazy stuff.
Incredible.
So, yeah,
Wow.
exactly. Every month. Exactly. We'll talk about that another time. But this is what we do here. Smash the like button. Now, Blade as Kona, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline, Buenos noches, familia. Buenos noches, familia. How's everything? I hope everyone is fine. What advice could you give to help fix credit? I'm involved in real estate and wanting to grow. I have the income, but need the credit. Okay. Do you want to try to help him out a little bit? Because I kind of think I know where he's going with this.
Yeah. Is
Because
this
he
for
says,
me? Yeah.
yeah, this is going to be for you because he's asking. I mean, I have some advice, but I don't really know his credit. What advice could you give to help fix credit?
So
And this is
that's
what
a
we're talking
yeah.
about now, actually.
So a lot of people call me that have really, really, really high debt because they're in real estate and they've got a really low score because of utilization. They pay their
Exactly.
debt well, but they're just way out of the park. So remember, on your credit report, it goes under a social. When if you're using a business debt, you don't want to mix those. You could put it under an EIN number, and the EIN stays off your credit report. That debt can't be settled, but it takes it off your report. My program will clean up your credit, but it's going to take half your term to get your credit up. And usually, real estate people are constantly borrowing money and then trying to pay it down. And what happens is, by the time they pay it, they've charged it back up, and that utilization stays solid. My only advice there is if you have a lot of debt, you can close those cards and do settlement, you're good. If you can't do that because you're a real estate investor, I tell my people who call in a lot, you want to start taking your debt off of your social and getting your business debt off of your credit report so it doesn't affect you. So an EIN is where you could actually do a lot of your credit. So people call me and say, I go, hey, your debt's 30,000. No, it's 300,000. I'm thinking, what are they talking about? It's because their social reports on their credit report and the EIN debt does not report on the credit report. So maybe moving that debt over to maybe create a LLC or create a business for yourself or however you want to do that. But if you're constantly using the debt, it will constantly be a high utilization. And now we're punishing people that are bankruptcy risk. So to fix the credit, debt settlement would wipe it out. Eventually it turns around. You'll be credit worthy. But frankly, you want to get your debt off of your credit report and put it under an EIN. It doesn't reflect there. Keep your business and your personal separate.
Exactly. Exactly right. I've told people this is another subject matter that we talk about here. When you have a business and most people do an LLC, but what do, Tracy? They run it out of their house. And the next thing you know, they start tying up their social security number and attaching it with their EIN number because they're going to back everything. And
Right.
so there's a problem with that, but they don't realize it. They get accepted for the business credit, but they don't realize they're guaranteeing it. And so all
Correct.
these little tricks happen, and then they find out they charged up all this stuff, and then they can't pay it back, and then they find out they're liable for it personally. It's
Correct.
crazy.
That is correct.
So
100% correct.
another reason, if you're even with business debt, when she pulls your credit, a soft pull, she can actually see what's going on. So she can be able to help you. You guys are listening to, she's very, very knowledgeable about what she speaks about here, ladies and gentlemen. So hit her up. I'm telling you, if there's any issues that you're going to need help with. So this is very good question right here by Victor Marrero. Just want to be clear. What is the difference between this program and chapter 11 or 13 for bankruptcy?
Oh, easy.
Exactly.
Victor, that's a great question. I love you for that. And let me
Exactly.
tell you, so on a chapter 13 or an 11, whatever chapter you want to bring to the table, you're walking away from your debt, right? Basically, on some of the chapters. I know they've changed those chapters around. This program is saying you don't have to file bankruptcy. You charge the debt, you're taking responsibility, and you'll happily pay it back. You're going to pay it back. You're just getting a little bit of an interest credit. So if you've paid $100,000, which you'd be shocked at how much you pay in a year of interest, the creditors are willing to take a little bit of that interest off, give you a credit to pay them back. Chapter 13, you got to go to court, whether you're restructuring, whether you're tying all of your assets to this bankruptcy. This is no court. This is you make a payment, we settle your debt. It keeps you out of bankruptcy court. It keeps you out of restructuring. And now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember what chapter it is, they can come after all future assets because they're trying to stop bankruptcy. This allows you with dignity to pay back your debt, maybe at a reduced amount, but you're paying back your debt and the creditors are happy. They've offered this to you. AmeriCorps deals with them on a daily basis. So it's not bankruptcy, it's paying back the debt without having to go to court, pay an attorney, all these things. So it's paying back the debt with dignity.
Exactly. Exactly. That's a big difference. And it's not the 7-year, 6-year. You're not locked in and like you said, for additional assets being taken. as
Oh, it's
well.
bad. Yeah. And
It's
it's only
very
12
bad.
years.
People don't realize there's a lot of stuff when you file bankruptcy that they don't
Oh,
tell you.
yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy. Don't do it if you can avoid it, everybody. I've never even talked about bankruptcy, but don't do it. If you can avoid it, and now you have a way to avoid it, quite frankly, this is the easiest way to avoid it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Why do it?
Yeah.
Yep. Mo Better. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He too has that icon that I love. Thank you so much for your support. And he says, what's up, SSN Nation? What's up, E? You know we winning tonight. We have Tracy Sharpe here with Resolve Finance in the house, and her email is scrolling down below. Tracy at resolvefinance.com, spitting some knowledge. We in this MFer. That's right. We always here. And got the notification, and he smashed that like button. Well, you know I love this. I love what Mo says here. No, it's not always a hard inquiry, but here we go. Mo says it's hard inquiry if she pulls it with your permission. That's not how it works, though. But go ahead, Tracy. Let them know it's not a hard
Yeah.
inquiry.
No, let me explain why, though. So that way you'll always know, right? So when
Exactly.
you loan money to someone, you must show a hard pull because you're loaning
Exactly.
someone money. I'm not loaning any money. I'm cutting your debt down and I'm giving you a payment plan. So we do not want to do any more damage. We're not trying to make you suffer anymore. If you're calling me that you're struggling, right? So what we're saying is we don't do hard pulls, we do a soft pull. And that is an absolute fact. Oh, and if we're loaning you money, which I'm not doing, which we don't do, then yes, you have to do a hard pull, but we don't do that. We do a soft pull
Exactly.
just to get a blueprint of your finances.
Exactly. Exactly. So there goes the difference. See, everybody gets to learn something new today. That's a beautiful thing. So this is awesome, Tracy. I love this. These are some great questions that we've had so
Yes, they
far.
are.
So let me know how much longer you can hang, because sometimes questions
I'm
will keep
okay.
coming in. All right.
Yeah, I'm
This is good.
good. I like to help
This is
people, so I'm good.
excellent. This is
I clocked
excellent.
out to do this and I'm loving it because I want to put at least a little, I want you to walk away feeling that you've learned a little bit of something. I like to learn something. I learned something from what you said, Eric. And frankly, if I can shed a little bit of light on this area in my life, let me do that. And when we talk again,
Yes,
we'll do auto finance leasing. We'll talk about that. I'm a pro at
exactly.
that. But today we're
Exactly.
talking about this, and
Yep.
it's a very successful alternative to make you have a little self-respect.
Exactly. That is exactly right. So you can
Oh,
answer
here it
this one
is.
because
Okay.
understood, but doesn't hard
I
inquiry
see
stay
it.
on your credit report for up to
Okay.
2 years?
Okay. So hard inquiries now can stay on the credit report up to 3 years. Soft
E.
pulls that we do not even show on the credit report.
Beautiful.
Not at all.
Beautiful. So there you go again. Another reason to call and let her do a soft pull and see if she can help you if you are in debt trouble. Don't hide in the sand. Don't put your head in the sand and go, hey, man, I can't do it. Just go do it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shy. You know, it's a very interesting thing. Tracy, I don't know, because you have incoming calls or lists of people. I don't know which one it is, but I find it most interesting that a lot of people do feel ashamed. They feel bad and they won't pick up the phone. They won't email. So is there anything that you know of
Hmm.
that could, get people who may feel embarrassed to
Of
actually call or
course.
email?
Yes, and that's the part that breaks my heart is so many people call me and we send out mailers saying you don't have to struggle. We give like a
Mhm.
side by side comparison and they call me and they're like, "Oh, I'm started a bankruptcy and I don't want to do it. I feel awful because it shows on my report." And then they call me and say, they want to take money out of their mortgage, which is insane, and no one is loaning money out of
Yeah,
mortgages at 8.5%. Okay. So listen, you're
right.
paying back everything you owe. You've paid hundreds of thousands over a lifetime of interest. The creditors want their money for capital. They're going to give you a
Yeah,
discount to get it to them fast. You're actually
that's right.
doing the creditor a favor. So the
That's
creditor
right.
gets paid, your credit goes back up. And not to throw a whole twist in this right now, and Eric knows where I'm going, but if you
Mhm.
have to have your credit built back up quicker than the term, we guarantee you a loan to pay off the creditors once we hit all the settlements if you must pay interest that bad. People are so used to what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to have good credit. Guess what? We didn't expect COVID to happen. We didn't expect 30% interest rates. The creditors want their money. I'm going to get you from A to Z quicker, and your score is going to be high like it's never been, with no BK stamped all over your credit report.
Exactly. And other detrimental situations that they don't talk about.
Yeah, it's awful. Don't be embarrassed. You're
Yeah.
paying it. You're saying I want to pay it. You're saying I want to,
Exactly.
maybe you're going to get interest credit. But I think here's the hardest part, that the ugly side of debt that I see that shocks me. And I tell people, you will learn quickly how awful creditors are, because when they call you for the money and you say, oh, I'm with the program, it's already been approved, they still want your interest. So we ask you to please send those calls over. And you got to realize, if you have to have your credit up, we guarantee you a loan if you don't miss any payments. So your credit goes back up, and you know what? They take advantage. And people have 15, 16, 17, 18. I had a lady on Friday that had 50 credit cards. Now the cards say, aha, she's stuck. We're going to raise her rate on all these, and there's nothing she can do.
Exactly.
It's awful.
Exactly. And again, I want you to repeat this. I've been telling people for years about all these shenanigans, but I swear people do not believe it. Repeat this again. They know what you have as far as credit goes.
Yes.
And then they figure out a way to take advantage. They go, oh, well, you're almost maxed out on all these cards. So I think we can just charge an extra 5% and make it 34%.
Yes. And Eric, do you know why? Because you're a bankruptcy risk, and the higher you get debt, the more debt you get, more cards. And if you guys probably might know this, you might not know this. At any time when you're with a bank, let's say you're with a B of A credit card and a TD Bank and a Community Bank, okay, at any time they can pull your credit, see all the other credit cards you have, and if you're a bankruptcy risk and you're struggling and you're just trying to feed your family, they can go in there and raise your rate and change the way that your interest is calculated. And the new thing that we're seeing, and I hate this so much, I want to tell everybody on the news, that they're taking on some cards average daily balance. So you carry a balance of $15,000 for 15 years. You pay it all off but $3,000. Your $3,000 is being interest driven off of your $15,000 average daily balance.
Exactly.
Who does that to people?
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting an earful tonight. Just what I've been preaching for 5 years. We tried to tell you, stop playing with the credit guys. All right. Yep. Don't play with them. Get out of that game. All right. Let's go back to Mo, because he was actually not talking about hard inquiry. He says, I meant to say soft inquiries. Stay on your credit report up to 2 years. Is that accurate?
No. Soft inquiries drop your score. A soft inquiry doesn't even show that anyone's ever even looked at it. I could do a soft inquiry and you could pull your credit right after. A soft inquiry means it's not soft, it's not hard, it's not going to have ink on your paper. Soft inquiries do not go on the credit report at all, only hard. And now they're increasing the amount of hard inquiries and how long it is. And your creditors now have the right to pull your credit anytime they choose to find you as a bankruptcy risk and raise your credit and calculate it stackable. If you guys have the time, look up Rule of 78, stackable compound interest, and you pay all your interest up front. And I'm telling you, it's not good. But soft inquiries are not anywhere on the report.
That's right. And it's so disgusting about this credit. I swear, it's annoying to me. Curtis Davis, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Mr. Financial is here with the icon next to his name. And he says, good evening, SSN family. ABMM stands for always be making money, Tracy. How do you like that? That's his acronym.
I love that. I love it.
ABMM.
I love it.
Yeah. And he's part of the SSN Nation family. We help people out the kindness of our heart. We generally try to help people. So he also has his own channel called Chili Davis, CHILLY Davis, here on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. So you got to go show some love at his channel. Subscribe to his channel. He drops stock and news and financial updates throughout the day, evening, and night. You never know when he's going to drop it. It could be midnight. Some news came out, he'll drop it. So go check him out, show some love. And again, we don't ask for money, ladies and gentlemen, because we make money. All right. That's what we do here. All right. Tracy makes money too, by the way.
Yeah, I do get paid to do this.
That's
Oh,
right.
I see
That's
the
right.
question now, Eric. I can read it. Does your services require removing negative items? Do you send dispute? No. So let me start with the
Oh,
second part of that first. So
wow.
there is a program out there that we're saying in our business is the biggest scam that ever hit this country. It's
Yep.
called debt validation. It's where we send
Yep.
letters to the creditors saying that you don't owe the debt. No, we actually electronically, the minute you enroll, let them know that you're in the program and that you've accepted our terms. It's all done. So the minute you sign my contract, your power of attorney is in there, and that power of attorney is instantly forwarded to the creditor. You've accepted the terms. So it's not a letter, it's a power of attorney. And then we set up dates to start negotiating your debt. Now, does your services require removing negative items? No. So in the old days, oh, I love these questions. In the old days, yes, we couldn't take past due accounts. If you're not being sued or any legal litigation on a creditor, that creditor can go into the program because it's so bad and negative. Now you're getting fees, you're getting lawyer fees, you're getting all these things and late charges. We get those people paid first. We hit them hard and we hit low. We'll give you 10 cents on the dollar. We'll give you 20 cents on the dollar. And we try to get those handled fast. So collections can go in here. Any kind of collection can go in here as long as you're not in a legal battle. If you're in a legal battle, we won't take on your legal battle. So yeah, well, so I hope that answered your question. So does your service require negative items out? No, those can stay in if you're not being sued. Do we send a letter on behalf of your client? Yes and no. Once you sign, the power of attorney goes, the creditor knows you're in, and then they start harassing you immediately, trying to get your payments from you, saying, don't do debt settlement, blah, 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 blah. And the truth is,
Mhm.
they just want their interest. It shows you the ugly
Exactly.
side of creditors. So I hope
Exactly.
that answered it. I hope.
Yes, it does answer it. But this brings up a very interesting question I have.
Yes.
You have heard of timeshares.
Oh, I have a timeshare in Tahoe.
Yes.
Yes.
And people want to get out of their timeshare and they have points. The
Yes.
points are not secured by anything. So the question, have you ever ran across where you could actually get that debt removed, or not removed, but the interest off of it?
Man, you're answering. You guys are all too smart on this call because that's probably in a year my favorite question. I love you for that because do you know, Eric, how many people call me and say I got a timeshare? It shows up and they go,
Yeah.
"Can you take that debt?" No, it works like an escrow. That's like a mortgage. That debt is
Yes.
tied to that escrow, and it's not an escrow, it's a timeshare.
Oh.
Now, here's where it gets tricky again. Remember, we talked about that
Oh.
loophole. If that goes into a
Wow.
collection and that's sold to a creditor, so people always have timeshares on their credit report and they're always past due, and
Yeah.
they go, "Can you help me with that debt?" No, that's real estate. That's
Oh.
protected. But if it goes into a collection, that collection sold to a creditor, like, I don't know, debt
Yeah.
buyer, we
Yeah.
take that debt buyer
Concurrent
as long as,
servicing. Yeah.
yes, but we don't take any kind of timeshare. But we give people numbers for 1-800, like, get out of a timeshare debt. Or, I mean, it's
Hmm.
bad because now my timeshare was 30,000 back in the 80s, and now my parents said it's
Yep.
worth about 300. I bought
Exactly.
it.
Worthless.
I
Yeah. It's
bought it.
worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the sad thing is timeshare debt can't go in unless it's been sold numerous times and it winds up with no attachment, no security to a collection company.
Right.
Solar can't even go in. Solar can't go in because solar's attached to your house. But you want to hear what's so crazy? These creditors are shady. They put them on as unsecured debt and they are absolutely secured.
What?
And again, they're
Oh.
charging people unsecured rates on a debt that should be half the interest on a secured debt. And it's attached to your home. So we put them in all the time and find out now they got a lien on their house because AmeriCorps took that debt, didn't realize they didn't report it correctly.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So where's
man.
the creditor's obligation to give you the right creditor on your
Exactly.
report?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Well, I want to get something because this is going to help somebody, though. The reason why I'm going to go back to this timeshare thing is that I know what you're referring to. So when somebody has a deeded timeshare, that is secure. But what I'm talking about is, I don't know if you're familiar with this, people have points, and points is not secured by anything, but they still have bought points. So they can use 3 days, 2 days, 5 days, anytime, as long as they have enough points. They can use 2 weeks if they have enough points. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, but is it on a credit report? No.
It's not. It's not.
No.
But they still have the debt as on paper. So in other words, they still get a bill in the mail to pay the loan, so to speak. It's really a loan is what it really is. But it's off books, so to speak.
Interesting. So
yes.
That would be so if they get a deed and let's say they get points.
No deed.
I don't know, because it would have to be how it's reported. What would the credit be reported as?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They don't report it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, they don't report it because it's points, and the points are not backed by anything. It's just on paper. People go in, they drink, have parties, sign the paper, and then they tell them, oh yeah, it's $1,000 per month, and then they keep sending them money. And then, just like you always talk about creditors, after the people stop paying, that's when they call up and do what they usually do. Oh, it's going to mess up your credit. And I'm like, it's not even on the person's, it's not on your credit report, is it?
I've never seen it in my life.
Yeah, it's
never
not
once.
on your credit report. Exactly. It's not on there. They're just threatening you to get the money. And you don't realize you have, and people think they own something when it's only points. And I'm like, it's nothing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. A lot of people own timeshares and don't default automatically to deeded. They're not all deeded. So that's what the thing is. So when somebody calls, ask them, think about, is it points? Because if it's points, you won't see it on their credit report. But
I'm thinking
they're still making a monthly payment.
I feel like absolutely everything when it comes to timeshare, the only thing I've ever seen in my life, which is about 80% of my clients, is it says timeshare debt. And they ask me, God, can I get out of that, or a recreational vehicle? And I go, no, it's all secured.
Yeah,
but okay, Eric, now let's go to something deeper. So you said points. So people call me and they say, I can't close my Southwest card and put it in your program because I've got $100,000 in points. Do you know you can call Southwest or anyone that has points, put those points, pick out a gift, put that on the side. That's a whole separate company. And that card can still go in. You still get your gifts. Yep.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It is a separate company. I never thought about that.
Yeah, they service that out. So you don't lose your points when you join my program. People go, oh, I have all this. Like, let's say I put my Starbucks card in. That's crazy. Let's just pretend that has a creditor, right? And I put it in. I still get my free drinks. Because that's a separate company. So even though Starbucks isn't a Visa, I'm just saying. And what people also don't understand is you can't break up creditors. So if you put in one B of A, they all go in. Now, Synchrony buys everybody who no one wants. Synchrony, you can break up the Synchrony accounts. If you got 30 Synchronies, you get to pick and choose what you want in. But here's what's happening, the real side of what's happening. Tribal loans are getting bigger and bigger and bigger because people want cash. So they're going to these tribes. We can't collect money on the tribes. They're charging 800%. So you don't want to get desperate where you're going out there and taking all these loans what you can't afford, because you just can't do that, you know. So this is such a beautiful program. It's not for everybody. Yes, in the beginning when we close the debt, a little bit of credit damage. You can't use your credit anyway. So when the credit comes back up, the economy turns around, now you're credit worthy. This is the best time ever to do resolution, ever, because you can't use your credit even if it's good.
Exactly. And I think people are missing what you keep saying. You know, people have 725, 750, and they are getting turned down.
Yes.
This is what people do not realize. You could have a 760 and get turned down.
Yes.
It's incredible what's happening.
No hard cash. No hard cash being given by anybody.
Exactly. And a lot of people are out here, again, paying people to do this pseudo credit repair nonsense, and then thinking, oh, my credit score is 730, 740, and then they find out they can't do anything. Zero.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Eric, you know that You know,
It's
since we
crazy.
were kids, they told us get all this credit so it helps your credit. They don't realize that was a way to have you spend money. Getting credit cards is
Exactly.
not a way to help your credit. And we're so
Exactly.
seasoned to
Exactly.
follow like when you were a kid, here's your 4 food groups. Now they're saying these 4 food groups are bad for you, right? So, and then when meat's good, okay, go get meat. And now we're all vegetarian country. It's like we can't figure it out. And the fact is just the fact. And the fact is, credit is not, the more you have, the more I close, the more damage is going to be done. Okay, here's another question.
Exactly.
What is the average score boost your clients normally would see? In other words, by how many points do your clients' FICO scores go up? And do by okay, so we only pull one report. We have Experian and Equifax. We pull whatever's, it'll pick the favored. If one's missing one, we pull the other. We don't use TransUnion because we just don't, for a lot of reasons. They don't report very average and very well. We don't. Now, when you join my program and you're sitting at a 660 and you got 100 grand in debt and you got 10 cards, your credit's going to crash. Actually, your credit's going to come down. I close all those cards. I throw them into an aging process, which is past due. So you're going to go through a dip. You're going to go down through a dip. It's going to be closed. They're going to be past due. Now the creditors want to settle because you're past due, right? So now the creditors want to settle. When that debt starts to get paid back up, and once that debt's all wiped out, assuming you haven't caused a whole bunch of more damage to your credit, you should be where you are or much higher because your FICO score is going to come down. So I put people in the program at 730. They've dropped down to 620. Their score now is at 800 because they don't have any debt. I have people who are adding so much debt to my program constantly, new debt, that I can't get their score back up. And I
Oh,
tell them,
geez.
get one card that you have, go get it secured, put $1,000 down, get $1,000 credit card, buy something, pay it, buy something, pay it, buy something, pay
Yep.
it, get your 1,000 back. Let your credit crash, and then it will come back up once the debt's being resolved. But your credit
Exactly.
goes down and then it goes back up.
Exactly. That's it. Once again, patience is a virtue when you do this.
Yes.
And who cares about 1 or 2 years? Like you keep saying, it makes perfectly good sense. Interest rates are at freaking all-time high for the last like
Yes.
40 years, anyhow. So why
Yep.
not do it now
Yep.
while it doesn't matter? You're already up to
Correct.
the Hilton debt. So it
Right.
makes no sense.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And the deeper in debt Americans get, the better discounts they'll give you.
exactly. Exactly. All
Of
right,
course,
Mo
you're so
Better.
welcome. Thanks for the questions.
Exactly. Mo Better on point. We love that. Okay, he's got some more, I think. All right,
Good.
let's see. Hold on, hold
Uh,
on. I think there you go. You can read it.
okay, so let's read. So it says, it's so tight. So does it show on your credit report to the 3 bureaus? I'll explain that you've settled your debt through a program instead of showing that you, okay. So as you're going through the process, it's going to show the creditors past due, 30 days, 60 days. Most creditors now only report 90, which is interesting. A lot do 30 and 60, most do 90. It's going to show it all past due. Here's the best catch. The minute those cards are settled, and we'll get 1 or 2 settled right up front, so that way your score actually goes up when you join the program. Then we close the debt and then it's down, but we try to pay quick, quick, quick. But your creditors are the ones telling us how much and when. When the debt's paid off in full, it will just say paid to a zero balance. It will show 0 lates. And the biggest thing that hurts us, you're talking old school, 30-day late, 60 late, 90 days late. Okay, those don't even really affect the score that much. Now it's the utilization. So your utilization drops. And then when it's all done, it won't say paid in full. It'll say paid to a 0 balance. That lets me, who's in the business, know you've been through a program. It doesn't say you're with the debt management, but how respectful is that people have actually paid their debt, didn't go bankrupt? I have people now that filed bankruptcy 15 years ago. Their credit score is 805. They go, hey, I don't want to do debt settlement. I want a loan. I can't even offer them a loan if it's still on their credit. Period. I try to send it through to my company. It says non-eligible. So yes, your credit score will go back up and it will not show you were ever in a program.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. I like this. Last question. Can you negotiate student loan debt through your program?
Oh, great question. Okay,
Mm,
we used to do student loans. Then the government said, hold on, we have a student loan forgiveness program. Why charge your clients and put all the debt in there? So, what did we do? We scrambled and took all these student loans and put them in the programs. And then the government said, we're going to forgive them. And then we took them out. Just kidding. They took away the debt forgiveness, I mean, the student loan forgiveness program. So now we're told we cannot do debt we cannot do student loan forgiveness unless it's through a private, it cannot be government education student loan. It has to be a private student loan and we can take it. Because you don't want to pay for something,
oh,
you don't want to pay for
yeah,
something that they might forgive. Then we've
right,
just collected all this money on it.
right, right. Wow,
I
that's
used to.
interesting.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
got people you can call for student loan forgiveness. I can't. Oh, in the case of a divorce, that's every day.
yep,
And a credit card is still in both names. Excellent. These people are smart, Eric. Can
I
the
know.
person, man, this is crazy. Can the person paying the card go into the program alone or does these people are good. So, wow, really good question. No, if you have a credit card, it's joint, it's you and a wife, you guys going through divorce, it's in both names, court gave it to you to pay. You have to get a letter saying it's solely in your name. You can't put a joint card in because it's going to affect that person's credit. Now, I had a guy that signed up last week sometime, maybe the week before. He had 300,000 in debt. Half it was in his wife's name. He got a letter from the creditor saying it has now been switched to his name. And the two that weren't in there, she decided to go ahead and sign and get that debt reduced because she was still on the hook for 50% of that debt. So it benefited her. So if you put in a card, it has to be individual. You can't put joint and you can't put authorized user. It has to be just your debt. You're the only one that can sign off for your debt being, I'm sorry, for your credit being a little bit damaged. So yeah, you'd have to get it changed to your name only or have her sign off. You can't put anyone else in without them knowing.
Wow, very good. But there's always a way, like you said.
Oh yeah.
Very interesting. If you have the knowledge and what you're trying to do, in
Uh-huh.
your case, you have the knowledge. So that's why you
Yes.
call her, ladies and gentlemen. The email's down below scrolling. And for everybody on podcast, Tracy at resolvefinance.com. This is the person you need to talk to because she's going to help you out. Now, Mo
Oh
Better
yeah.
says, I got to come back for more, Tracy. Here's his next
That's all
question. You
right.
can
That's
check
what
it
I'm
out.
here for. Let's do it. Okay. But
Exactly.
if you close the accounts, last question, I really don't mind. After they are paid off, wouldn't that hurt your credit even more? No, but it's showing on the, okay. So when you close all the credit, yes, that hurts your credit because you've opened it. Now we've closed it. But when it's all paid off and the credit's closed, you're good as gold. You have no liability for bankruptcy. They look at your open to buy debt. If you have 50 cards, 500,000 in debt, but it's all paid in full. People think and they're told that's good. No, you could rack it up tomorrow and go bankrupt. So let's do that again. So let's say, are they paid off? Wouldn't that hurt your credit even more because it's showing the average age on your account are too recent? No, that's kind of old school. So that's why what I do is I ask you, who do you bank with? Oh, Bank of America. Okay, great. I'm hoping to God that your Bank of America credit card or credit loan or auto loan or whatever on your, so we try to take the oldest creditor that you have and keep it on there just so you sleep better. So they've changed the way that credit works. So if you close them all down and you have no utilization, you're better than that person who has three credit cards, 30 years old, paid off. They've changed it because everything now is they're coming at it from a side of, is this client a bankruptcy risk? So what I've done, because I know the system, I paid all my stuff off and closed it. I got a Nordstrom Visa because it was TD Bank. It had the lowest rate in the industry. I really didn't care what the rate was. I rack it up every month. I pay it off in full. That racks my score up because I'm not carrying a balance. I pay it off. I've had the card for 30 years. I don't care if they charge me 900%. I don't carry a balance. I get free money every month and free makeup and anything that they're offering as a card holder for every thousand I spend. That's the only card I have, and I'm in the eights on my credit score.
That is beautiful. This is what I'm talking about. You did something that's very important that a lot of people miss when they have cards. Paying it off within the 30 days, you're just using it temporarily.
Correct.
and then paying it off. You shouldn't have credit cards just to keep paying minimums and getting
Right.
taxed this 20-30%. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But we're told that, Eric. We're always told carry
Yeah,
revolving amount. Your oldest debt
Yep.
matters. Closing
Yep.
cards. No, you get all your debt in here. Yeah, I'm going to drop your score, but your credit's going to be brand new. Let me tell you what's disgusting. If you guys all file bankruptcy tomorrow, you'd be able to buy a house and a car cheaper than me all day long. And I paid my debt old fashionedly. People that do settlement, you've paid your debt old fashionedly. So you want to get out of your debt, have a mortgage, have a car, and one credit card for emergency. That's how you get an 850 score.
There we go. Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. Did you
Yes.
not hear this woman? Is she awesome? She's giving you the straight info. You guys have heard part of this before, but she's going deeper tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Mo says, oh, okay.
Okay.
That's right.
He's like, I give. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your questions. If I can leave here today and do nothing but just educate, let me tell you, I am good.
Exactly.
I just want to make sure that you guys know I am solid with Eric. I am right here if you need me, but this is not a money thing. This is to help you if you need it. I woke up today with, I think there was 1,100 total in my inbox and 1,600 applications.
Jesus.
I clocked out to take this call because I'm helping people. No one gets the truth. No one sees the reality of the side of the greed and the creditors. So this is the reality, good or bad. Yeah, it's going to drop and it's going to come back up and then you're good as gold. But you can't mess it up when I'm working.
Exactly. Exactly. Again, I'm miffed if anybody says, well, I want it sooner than a year or sooner than 2 years. I'm just like, what's the rush? You already messed it up. You already have a 690. You already have a 660. You already have 50 to 100, $200,000 worth of debt. It's not like you're paying that off anytime soon. I'm just like, what difference does it make? You're not paying this off in 2 years. It's ridiculous.
Well, and the truth, Eric, here's the truth to make you feel better. If rates on homes were 2%, I would say, let's look at the good, let's look at the bad, let's wait. We have no option right now to get in, pay it quick, and get out because the rates are going to turn around in a couple years. Never now than a better time. This is the best time ever in the history of ever. Yeah.
Exactly. This is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. It's SSN Nation. Stop struggling now. This is how you stop struggling now, by getting a hold of your debt and put it in the proper place in your past. That's what we're trying to do here, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, get in touch with Tracy. Her email is Tracy, T-A-R-C-Y, because you can spell it different ways. T-A-R-C-Y at
Tracy. Yeah, Tracy at resolvefinance.com.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. All right. So hit her up, ladies and gentlemen. If there's any other questions, please ask them now. But again, Tracy, this is awesome. But I got a homework piece for you, the one that I asked about. If it's not on your credit report, it's unsecured. Can you do debt resolution?
Yeah, send me a statement. I can add it.
That's all we needed to know. Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. Because I have this for a friend of mine that got in a situation. They went to Mexico and they got in a timeshare points scenario, and they got back and they made them. They said, "Here, we'll give you free nights for an extra 4 or 5 nights." Well, see, what they didn't realize is that took them over their cancellation period. So when they got back home and started going through the paperwork, 2 days later, they call up and be like, "Hey, this is not what we talked about." And now it's past the cancellation. They won't let them out.
Man, you guys, this is how all people operate.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's sad.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but if people have a lot of paper, remember, you're paying your debt so good, you're so proud of yourself. And you know what they're doing now, Eric? One last thing I was so mad about that statement you made. I got to tell you something. Now they're saying, oh, you want to build your credit? There's a new way you can add your utility bill, saying you pay your utility bill really good. So every time I pull credit now, people have like, oh, they're PG&E and they're SMUD and this and this and that. So it looks like, they say put it on there so it adds to your credit and it shows. First off, let's talk about that. You don't put PG&E bills on your credit report. Now we're seeing utility bills on there, and you know what it's doing? It's raising utilization.
raising, or don't tell me they're taking a 12-month payment
What they're
amount.
doing is they're putting people's, they're saying, I pull credit. I'm like, hey, why am I seeing all this utility bill? And they go, oh, that's not a debt you can get off, right? Because that debt is their
Right.
monthly utility bill. Put it on the credit report to build your credit. It doesn't build your credit. In fact,
Mm,
it brings your credit rating down.
that is
So I'm not,
crazy.
it's not fair. So we're told one thing, and in fact, it's different. So when you're telling me
Exactly.
this about timeshare, I'll tell you this timeshare thing. There's so many people that call me and say, I've never missed a payment in 30 years on this
Right.
unsecured loan. That creditor doesn't even have the respect to show that unsecured loan on the credit report as a good standing account.
That's correct. That's correct. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand, though, in case you're missing the point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They
Yeah.
aren't secured in the first place. It's because they gave them points,
Yep.
or how about this? Right to use, which is nothing in reality.
Interesting.
That just gives
Yeah.
them time. Like we give you 20 years right to use. So every year, but it's
Yeah.
not a loan, but it is a loan because you sign paperwork saying with that
God.
right to use, you're going to pay me $25,000. Here's the monthly payments. They have the loan paperwork, but it will never be on their credit because it's not really secured by anything.
God, that's weird. Yeah. If
So,
you knew the
so when
loan
people are
company, mhm.
right, right. So it's at Concord Servicing, for instance.
Interesting.
That's
I'm going
who
to
they're
Google
sending the
that.
money to. Yeah,
I'm going
check
to
it
Google
out. You'll
that
see.
because I get
Yeah,
timeshare questions all day long, and I never knew that's how
exactly.
that operated.
Yes,
Interesting.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's
Hmm.
why I was like, wait a minute, there's a whole nother thing. And I know people are calling up
Yeah.
panicked about it. And
Yeah.
ultimately, that doesn't show up like you said. You can pull their credit
Yeah.
and you'll be like, it's not there. Well, that
Yeah.
gives you a clue right there. It's
Oh.
actually probably it's not deeded. That's the
Ooh.
thing. So it's
Yeah.
unsecured entirely. So now you can actually do a debt settlement, I think.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to Google that because people always have to send over statements and we have to verify it's in their name
yeah,
only. If they have other
right,
people that are authorized users, they need to come off. And secondly, we
right.
need to verify if their rate is over 99%, we no longer will
Whoa,
take creditors. Oh, so many come in over
right,
99. So if you guys have
right.
credit cards over 99 or unsecured loans, we can't help you because they won't settle.
Are you talking about 99%? What are
Sadly, I
you,
am.
are you serious?
Yeah, if they have, we used to take everything, and now that rate is over 99%, we won't accept it because they won't settle. And now we're seeing that those credit cards over 99 normally
Yeah,
are not even on the report because they know it's wrong.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. That's crazy,
yeah,
crazy. Unenforceable as well, since it's not on your credit
yep,
report. Now people don't have any fear of
correct.
anything. So it's not
Uh-huh,
hurting them, but they don't
right.
realize it. A lot of people don't realize it because
Yep,
they think it's a debt and they're going, oh, it's going to hurt your credit report. You better send in. And then they do
uh-huh,
what you kind of do. They'll say, you know what? We'll take off 30% of the interest if you pay this amount. That's what they
correct.
do in house.
That's so
It's
true.
crazy. It's
It's
crazy.
awful. What I've
Yes,
seen being done to people is just so sad. That's why I do what I do.
exactly. And I'm right there with you. This is what we do, Tracy, here. We actually
Yeah,
make moves and we make the right moves. And this is why it upsets a lot of people, quite frankly.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
why they don't want the information you're sharing. They don't want this out in reality. This is why my channel is not really big, even though we have a lot of subscribers and things like that. But the video
I get
won't
it.
go public because they're like, whoa, whoa.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're taking out a lot of corporations.
Yeah.
You're messing with
Well,
a
that's
lot of
yeah.
money.
That's why I asked so many questions before I came on because these programs are brilliant. They're not for everybody, but we're
Exactly.
so brain trained to do only what they tell us to
Yep.
do.
Yep.
Oh, I
Yep.
think your program is great. The only thing I would suggest is that
Mm-mm,
you fix the client's credit for all three credit bureaus
mm-mm.
instead of only no, we don't fix anything and
They don't fix
what happens
anything.
is we don't fix anything and we don't fix just one, not three. We pull only one credit, but your credit in general will naturally fix by the reporting of no balance due and utilization. So we don't fix anyone's credit. It naturally happens by paying off that debt.
Exactly. And there's another point because he brings up negative items.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about that. So here's the thing. This is what the negative items is on your credit report. Let's just say it's 1 year old negative. It stays on there for a while.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If I enter into the program, the older the negative credit gets, the least effective it is. So 2 years, 3 years that I'm in the program, that means the negative item is now 4 or 5 years old. It could be almost dropped off. So
Well, Eric,
therefore it has nothing to do.
my program will actually remove that when it's paid in full. It'll no longer show a negative. It'll say paid to a zero balance.
Oh, that's right, because it's with the collection agency at that point. That's the only way it can be
it'll say
reported.
paid.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we don't.
Yeah,
But we don't
exactly.
clean credit. It's a natural, organic thing that
Exactly.
happens. Negative items, I don't care if you call me with 30 different collections. When I'm done with you, it'll say paid to a zero balance. You didn't walk away from that debt. You paid it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so some people
Right.
walk away. They're like, what are they going to do? They can't take anything. I don't own anything. What's a bad attitude? I say,
Right.
look, you owe it. So
Right.
let's get it off your credit. So we don't credit cleanup. I love the fact that my program is an organic cleanup. It cleans itself up
Exactly.
by
Exactly.
paying it. Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
have people out here charging people. Imagine this. I'm
Big.
doing credit repair. I'm just like, you're not doing credit repair. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
happening naturally. And
Yep.
also by the age as well. So if I have negative 1 year and then it takes me 3 years or 4 years to go through the program, it's going to be off anyhow. Kind of like even if you didn't help me, it's still going to
Right.
So
Right.
it's either way. By the
Yeah.
time I finish the program, I should be good. So
Yeah.
unless you get
That's
some
true.
new negative stuff, which we don't, that's the thing. We don't want any new
Right.
stuff. That's the
Right.
kicker right there. Otherwise you sabotage yourself.
That's correct.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
So we don't want that. So everybody has the lay of the land. You guys can get out of your debt. And if you have any other questions, I suggest you do so now, because Tracy's been kind enough to take
Of course.
part in this out of her day. And I'm just going to say it like it is, because, you know, it's Mr. Cold Hard Facts in this house. She has taken the time out where she could be making money, ladies and gentlemen. So all I'm going to tell you is she could be helping other people, but she took time out to be here in the SSN Nation, which you know that means raising the roof in the house. So I love you very much for this, Tracy, and
I
for
love you
this
too.
information.
Thank you. I'm honored because I do want to help, Eric. I want to help you and I want to help
Exactly.
your people. And I really want the world to know that they don't have to suffer in silence. There are programs, you know?
Exactly. And Mo's saying, I'm always reading credit reports, and I too know the difference between paid as agreed and balance zero with no other information. It was funny that you mentioned that. Spot on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's so
And
funny.
also, I haven't talked with you, Tracy, but you know about Dominican Republic. I mentioned that.
Yep.
And what you don't know is this is the year of SSN Nation Takeover 2024. I've come out of retirement, and
Wow.
you are going to have something else to do.
Huh.
Yes,
I'm
you
liking
are.
that.
Yes, you
Look, I'm a
are.
player. I love your
Yes.
moral compass. I know you do things from your heart. And that's why
Exactly.
if I can help you and help people and just
Yes.
give people a
Yes.
chance to learn something, I'm all in. If I'm let me know
Oh,
what to
yes.
do.
Oh,
I'm in.
yes. This is gonna be right up your alley with regard to finance.
Okay, I'm
going
in.
to tell you again, we do real estate investing in the Dominican Republic, along with, you can start a business as well. But the real estate investing is based on, because they have all these pre-construction projects. And so you put down, let's say 20% or 15 or 10%, and then you make a monthly payment. They usually do a situation like this. I'll use a simple one: 10% down, 30% during construction. So then 70% is due on delivery. That's generally what they do. It's 0% interest though. So we'll use your example, 100,000, because there are $100,000 condos, and they put 10,000 down, 30,000 over, let's call it a 30 month. So that means they have $1,000 a month at 0%, right?
Yep.
So they've put down 40,000. And now here's the conundrum. On delivery, they say, okay, we're ready. You need 60%. Well, guess what happens in the DR? No United States bank is going to loan over there. So you have to go to a Dominican bank. Dominican bank
Oh,
charges 8.5, 6.5. Well, it could be 9.5 or 10.5.
yeah.
So I am going to SSN Nation Takeover. I have a plan. I am going to be doing something that I want to do, but I haven't been able to implement it yet. And with your help, I think I will.
Okay.
What I am proposing at the backside, so everybody wins, I need what we do here in America, but I got to figure out a way where I can actually, that 60%, I want to do it in-house.
Ooh, that's good. That's real good.
Oh, and it's not 0% interest, by the way, because of course we have to make money for our SSN Lifestyle Financial.
That's true. That part's true. Yeah.
We're not going to charge 10%, but I'm trying to get it where it's reasonable. 4%,
Yeah.
5%, I'll still live with that.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so smart. That's so smart. Because you can't get
Yes.
money over there. You're right. We used to do business in Puerto Rico. We stopped doing that too because they won't let us, not us, but the
That's
Puerto
right.
Ricans. So yeah, we got to
Exactly.
talk about that when I see you again, because that might be,
Yes.
that's actually a
Yes.
really investing, huh? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Kind of new to
Yes.
my arena, but I'm liking this. I like to
Yes.
learn.
Oh no. What's going to happen is that finance arm that you got, that knowledge that you have.
Yeah.
Once I give you the whole little twist to it, you're going to be like, oh, are you kidding me? Yes, that's what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Okay. I'm
All right, I've
ready.
been
I
in
can't wait for that
retirement for a while.
conversation.
Yeah,
I know.
I've been hiding out for a while. I've been hiding out for the last like 30 years.
Yeah. I cannot wait for that conversation. I got a
Yeah,
guy
we're
that
gonna
calls me
talk.
all the time about his debt, and he's New York Stock Exchange. He's always trying to hire me to come work at his New York Stock
Oh, I can
Exchange, and then
imagine.
he went out of business, and now he's in my program.
I
Jeez.
understand that. I'm
Yeah,
understanding
it
that.
happens,
Yeah.
man, to the best of us. The best
Yep.
of
So
us.
you'll be hearing from me because I got some major plans that you're gonna be like, are you kidding me?
I love that. I love
Yeah,
big stuff like that.
So
Oh, good.
and we're
Oh,
gonna go help
good.
people get some property
Yeah,
and
nice.
in an up and coming place. The number one tourist spot is Dominican Republic right now, and
I
again, they
know.
keep
I
going.
know.
So that's it.
Oh, I
So
can't wait for that. Thank you for letting me hear.
yeah,
My son went there
yeah.
for a sales meeting and said, Mom, if I could move there, I'd move there. It's the most beautiful place in the country. I
Hey,
mean, in the
we got.
world.
Yeah, it is. We have projects over there. Like I said, no credit check, no qualifying, and
Hmm.
0% interest. I mean, like, what is this? Is crazy. Oh,
Okay, we're talking.
God.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
exactly. So we're gonna wrap it up, Tracy, and I
All
appreciate it
right.
again, and I look forward to having you on again. And
Yeah, thank you
this was
for
a
that.
special treat. And my God, I guess I should tell everybody after we've had this long discussion. I have to call her, like I have to say, surprise. It's like my daughter-in-law.
Yeah, it's true. And yeah, we're so close to the same age, and I love you so much, like family. And I don't have a father-in-law, so you're it, my friend. You're stuck with it.
Exactly.
I'm so proud. I love you so much. I do. I
I
truly
love
do.
you too. All right. That's
Thank
right.
you.
Another superstar's in the family and in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, this is a heavy hitter right here. So get in touch with Tracy at resolvefinance.com. It's TRACY Resolve Finance. You guys got it. All right, Tracy, we got to talk about this and we talk about other stuff. But
All right.
again, thank you so much for being on tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And thank you to everyone for listening. And thank you for your questions. I'm going to pop off. I appreciate it. Whatever I can do to bring knowledge or just awareness or love to this, let me know. And I appreciate it. And we'll talk soon, Eric. Okay.
All right. You got it.
All right.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
All right.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
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 All right, ladies and gentlemen. What did you think about that?